I, from the bottom of my heart, believe that if you have ever used ChatGPT or any other AI chatbot to write an email, like you're already too far gone. You're done. What is it about these simple tasks that we cannot even be bothered to think for half a second? I am so blessed that AI hit when it did. It hit in the year that I started college. That's when AI kind of took off. I think ChatGPT launched in 2022. I could fact check that, but I'm not going to. Everything is off the dome right now. When ChatGPT hit in 2022, I was already tired of it. Like, I felt like people were talking about it from a couple years prior, and then now that it hit, everyone was just like, I'm going to use it for all of my schoolwork. And it's like, bro, this was back when AI wasn't even as developed as it is now. Everything that this thing shits out, you can immediately tell it was written by a robot. And in many ways, it's still like that. We went through the hyphen epidemic not too long ago, where everything that a chatbot would spit out had a bunch of hyphens and dashes, so you would immediately know a person didn't write that. The thing that gets me about emails specifically is like, what is even occurring in an email that you would be sending in any professional context that you have to use something to refine it? Do you not know enough about what you're asking or how to talk to somebody in a formal context to just type up a, hey, how are you doing? I need these reports. Do you have this information? Are you available at X time? Is that so hard? It's so disheartening to learn that people you considered intelligent are using AI to do literally everything. You can have a conversation with a person, feel like you've connected with their soul in the way that you've just talked, and then you find out that they use AI for almost everything, and you're questioning if this idea is even from them. I encountered this so much in college, it's ridiculous. For some stupid reason, I thought girls would be more hesitant to use AI. I've just been surrounded by a lot of intelligent girls around my whole life, and they make it seem like they're just not going to fall for some of the stupid traps, but it feels like now they're the first ones falling for the stupidest traps. How can you not tell that AI has made this sound like absolute garbage? Did you even bother to read a sentence of what it produced for your assignment? There are at least a handful of people that use it wisely as a tool so they can kind of ease their process or maybe get information a little bit faster, and then they rework it into something that kind of looks like a human produced it so their professor can't tell. But then you have those that literally copy and paste the prompt into a chatbot and then copy and paste the response into their assignment. That's why there was that professor or teacher recently who put a trap in his prompt that was labeled in all white so you wouldn't be able to see it. You could only be caught if you actually copied and pasted it directly into the chatbot, and then it had this one particular line of dialogue which is like, give me this random fact, so you could immediately tell it was produced by AI. I think it's one of the dumbest things imaginable for you to do or to have happen to you is if you get caught using AI. Before, professors would put traps into their work because that's what we have to do now. They would just enter like vaguely what a person might put into a chatbot, and it would produce the exact same thing that the student submitted. Forget technology and forget how big tech is eroding our brains. Do we not have some sense of internal standards that we have to maintain? Do we not look at something and say, this isn't good enough, like this doesn't feel real, this feels soulless, and I hate this? None of this is to act like I don't use AI either. I just use it as a tool. When I get on these platforms, I might type in a question just to get me started, like, what is the production date of this stupid episode of this stupid TV show? And then whatever date it spits out, I'm gonna do my own research following that. It doesn't help that Google is just using AI as its first initial result anyway, but now I know I have to look at 2 to 3 sources just to get the answer. And that's not gonna kill me. I have an infinite library in my pocket. I can scroll for 5 minutes on good, reputable websites and get way more information than AI would ever get me. In terms of how technology evolves, it actually took a really long time for ChatGPT, the basic, I guess the free version, to start using sources. Why is that? It's because big tech knows you don't give a fuck about the reputable nature of a website or something that you're reading. If an online production produces it, then you're gonna immediately take it as fact. Even though one of the timeless phrases that we've all heard is don't believe everything that you read. When I was young and we would cheat on a test, like in middle school and high school, we would pull out our phones when the teacher would not survey around that particular area of the class. And we'd pull out our phones, and we already know that we can't trust whatever Google snippets gave us at the time. This was before AI. From actually understanding how technology works and using our phones and laptops on a regular basis, we know that that little snippet paragraph that they gave us could just tell us some bullshit. So it was essentially a known fact that if you didn't have enough seconds to type in your question and make it to a website that you know is reliable, then you don't even need to bother taking out that phone and risk being caught. And if you didn't have to get that explained to you, you were probably going to be much better off than the people that just trusted everything they saw with first glance. They're gonna get 60% and you're gonna get 85s and higher. This must have been 2 or 3 years ago now. I took this journalism course and I can't remember what the topic was, but I got some fact in the assignment that I typed up, and I think I mistook a university name. I think I put the University of Boston when it's actually labeled Boston University or something along that nature. And my professor caught that because she was an actual reporter, and she explained to us a time where if you had something as simple as that wrong, your professor would invalidate the entire work. That's what would happen to her when she was learning about journalism and the importance of being accurate. I'm obviously not suggesting that we have to go that far with critiquing ourselves, but there is some type of standard that you have to have when it comes to producing and receiving information. Bro, forget a journalism assignment. I've seen people use ChatGPT for an introductory assignment, which is basically a tell me about yourself. Are you absolutely fucking kidding me? You cannot be bothered to type up a paragraph about yourself? There's nobody else on the planet that knows more about you than you. Honestly, I could probably make 15,000 videos about this. I've had my issues with Google Gemini and using it every day because I have brain damage, as I've talked about in another video. But if anything I said resonated with you, please drop a like and tell me some of the stupidest things you've seen people use AI for. I'll see y'all in the next one.